our friends across the Detroit River have a special connection to the Queen, with Canada, of course, being a member of the Commonwealth.
That's right. The Queen's last visit to Windsor was in 1984 during a tour of Canada. Our Tim Pamplin was in Windsor today talking to people about their memories. And Tim, you met a man whose family had several personal encounters with the Queen.
Fascinating story, Kim. Yeah, we are across the river here. There's the magnificent Detroit skyline as we spin around. Flags here, obviously going down to half-staff Canada. Part of the Commonwealth. The Queen touched so many lives, including one from a young man I met right here in Windsor.
And I was 15-year-old at the time, and it was summer holidays, and it was just such a massive event.
Saul was reminiscing today with me about the time the Queen came to his mosque in Scunthorpe in the northeast of England. He was just 15 years of age, one of the many in the crowd waving their Union Jacks. He says from that point on, he's been an unapologetic royalist and a huge fan of the late Queen.
This was the first time she was present in a mosque in the United Kingdom.
And that meant a lot to him.
The Queen to me is a matter of great significance, you know, being the leader of the Commonwealth realms, and the history of my family being present in the British Raj.
Yes, he's referring to the Raj, the time when the British ran British India. His grandfather's cousin was a surgeon, but not any surgeon. No, Dr. Shah was appointed to the royal household of George V as a member of the household medical staff. Add to that his brother, a British police officer, being awarded a medal by the Queen for his outstanding service to law enforcement.
Sad in a way that one era is going into the history books and another era is beginning. It's sad in a sense, you know. There's no doubt one would feel sad.
He says he's saddened by the passing of the Queen, but looks forward to what King Charles III will bring.
I don't think you'll ever be able to take the heart of the United Kingdom out of me, no matter how far away I go, wherever I live on the planet.
Yeah, I can relate. The Canadian-British connection runs deep. In fact, someone just came up to the flagpole here, placed a red rose, said that's for Her Majesty. Back to you guys across the river.
Yeah, that's really lovely.
Yeah, great story,
great
pictures.
remembrances.
Yeah.
Wow, yes.
Really. Okay, Tim, thanks. And of course, the Queen leaves behind quite the legacy.
In addition to being the longest reigning monarch in Britain, she's also the second longest serving sovereign monarch in all of history, second only to Louis XIV, who became the King of France at the age of 4. She's been in power for 15 prime ministers, the first being Winston Churchill. Such is the stretch of her life and historic times. There have been 14 U.S. presidents during her reign, and with the exception of President Lyndon Johnson, she met each one of them. Our coverage of the Queen's death continues at clickondetroit.com, where you find more reaction from around the world and also more on what comes now.
And we'll go to London for the very latest, up next on NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.